All right. Well, if you're here, I want to say thank you because that means that you scanned the QR code and saw value in that first video to go ahead and access this follow-up video. This video is going to be a slightly deeper dive on the topics that we discussed in that introductory video, and even to take it a step further with some other things that we didn't get a chance to discuss. You are going to expect three specific things that we're going to cover. We're going to recap the previous video. We're going to go over some new additional things that we didn't discuss. And then we're also going to go a little deeper and talk about some other considerations regarding AI that a lot of people are not yet talking about, or they are talking about, but they're just not widely shared considerations. So with that in mind, let's go ahead and jump in and talk about a brief recap of what was shared in the introductory video and go a little deeper on those topics too. So talked about generative AI platforms and talked about three of the biggies: Google's Gemini, ChatGPT, and Perplexity. And if you have noticed, if you're using AI, you will see that ChatGPT and Google's Gemini have a lot of similarities if you put the same prompt into both platforms. And that is because Chat licenses Google's AI technology. And so with some individualized computer programming running in the background for each platform, with the exception of that, you will see there's a lot of similarities on most of the results that are returned for those platforms. Perplexity is a little bit different in how it operates, and so with that in mind, I see some more variance in the responses compared to the other two platforms, and I like a little bit more of the specificity with the responses for Perplexity. Now, with that said, this is not in any way, shape, or form an endorsement for Perplexity or any other of the platforms that are discussed on this value-added bonus material today. I'm just telling you from use case example that I've had some pretty good successes and appreciated what Perplexity returns. Now, with that said, I want to share a refreshing surprise. So, last week while working on taxes, I happened to be on a PC while doing some of that and happened to notice a little new icon in the very bottom right corner on the little bar, the taskbar at the bottom for the PC. And it was kind of like a yellowish color and had a couple other colors into it too. So I clicked on it, not knowing what it was, and up pops Microsoft's AI, and it's called Copilot. Now, here's what's interesting to me. I am generally very much on the fence about Microsoft because of some of the challenges that present with using their various products and stuff. I'm not trying to indict them, but I mean, I think we can all agree that if your Windows freezes and you have to restart and you lose data, it's not a fun thing. So with that said, I will say that I was kind of suspicious about this Copilot, but I thought, hey, let's give it a try while we're waiting for some other stuff to go on with taxes. And what was really refreshing is, so I'm doing a little research on starting yet another business. And with that in mind, I was doing background fact finding on frameworks and strategy and marketing and all these things. And I put the prompt into Chat, Gemini, and Perplexity and got all that information, and then put it in a central document repository of information so I can kind of assemble it all and distill it. So I put that same prompt into Copilot. And here's what was really refreshing to me. Copilot, after you put your prompt in there, it will spit out some really good information. And I felt that it was quality, it was on point, and all that kind of stuff. But then what it does is you get three follow-up prompts that it suggests that you ask. And so you can just click on them and it will automatically generate the response to that ask. So, like, I put in a prompt and it said, generate a marketing plan for this business. And then one of the other prompts was go deeper on this aspect. And it was one of the aspects in the original prompt. And then there was a third one. Yeah, all of them were on topic and I thought on point. And I thought that was really refreshing. Here's another neat thing that I like about the way the Copilot is set up is that it has three avatars of responses that you can choose from. So you can choose the creative brained avatar, you can choose the balanced brained avatar, or you can choose the precise brained avatar. I thought that the after using those three avatars, the responses were very good. I ran through the process all the different ways. So with each of the avatars and also using the prompts that were the follow-up prompts too. I like the follow-up prompts because they seem to kind of get your brain thinking like, oh gosh, I should have thought to ask that. And then you click on it and then you get some more good information that you may not have considered. Especially good for people who have not used AI a lot. It allows you to know what the next question might be that you want to ask because maybe you haven't thought of that yet. So that's cool. Now, here's the thing. Some of the other platforms do that. Just my own personal opinion. I like the way that Copilot does it. It's very logical, especially for newer users who may not know that you can even ask follow up questions or what follow up questions to ask. So, very refreshing. Speech to text. This is so overlooked and underappreciated right now. And this is a huge opportunity to save time and ultimately money in the workplace because you can type, on average 50, 60 words a minute. Let's just say that that's somewhere in the average, maybe even as low as 40 and as high as 70, but that's pretty much where most people fall on the spectrum. Now, you can speak on average 2 to 3 times faster than you can type. So, if the average person is spending 2 to 3 months, which is what research suggests as it comes to email and generating emails, at 2 to 3 months of your work year, imagine if you could shorten that by, a third to half. People complain a lot of times they don't have enough time in their workday. This is a free solution that can be a game changer for pretty much anybody because all you have to do is turn on your microphone, speak, and it will create the email that you're looking for. Another neat fact about this is that this can be used for word processing too. So whether you're in Google Docs or you're in Microsoft Word or even in Excel, it can be used as well. I'm not sure about Google Sheets as of recording this video, but all of these different interfaces, you can use this, and you can use built-in ones on the Microsoft platform, which are a part of Microsoft Office. You can use the Windows opportunity, which is actually cooked into Windows under I think it's under the accessibility settings, but you can just look that up. Use your AI platform on how to do that. That'd be pretty cool. And Apple has the same situation. So you can go into the Apple operating system and look up under accessibility and turn on your speech to text. And you can set it to a quick key. So mine is just you press command twice quickly, and all of a sudden the microphone comes on. The neat thing is that once you are adept at the quick commands for punctuation and skipping a line or doing a new paragraph, once you know those things, it really becomes second nature. And I would just encourage you to practice because if you do one email per day for the next couple weeks, you're going to become more familiar with it. It'll be a little slow at first, but once you get it going, it's a game changer. Just imagine if you could have something that was free that would give you 1 to 2 working months back in your year and what you could do with that extra time. And if you multiply that out times the compensation of the people in your organization, that includes you, business leaders. That's a lot of money in a year. It could be hundreds of dollars if only used a little bit. It could be thousands of dollars if it's just for one person. It could be tens or even hundreds or even millions of dollars if it's for a large organization. Getting communication done more quickly is a great way to go. If you want to plus that, there are AI programs that you can put on top of your email client where you can have auto responses generated. And what's really cool about that is that the AI client reads the email that was sent to you, and then based on that you can click generate response, and it'll, like, let's say it's so and so asked you to a meeting or something like that. You can hit generate response and it'll say yes, absolutely, I'll see you at 11 on whatever day or something like that. So it's pretty cool because that's even faster still than the speech to text. But with the AI, it's making some decisions, whereas speech to text is actually you generating the content, but you're just doing it much faster than typing. So now let's talk about a multi-layer potential for you to create some real force multiplication within your business, especially if you have team members. This is really cool, or you anticipate having team members. So was working with a client in Ohio. They had a decentralized office. And so they were in one place and then their team members were in other places, remote workspaces. And so the challenge is to get information to the team members for learning purposes in ways that were quick and efficient and effective. And so we identified for them that one of the best solutions would be video SOPs and the associated accompanying information. And what does that look like? Well, here's the thing. Apple shot their latest tech release in October of 2023 with an iPhone 15. If they're going to shoot their professional events with their phones, most people have the same technology or something incredibly similar in their pockets right now. With a $25 or $30 tripod from Amazon, you can put your phone on that. You can record if it's like a physical manual process and record it in real time. If it's a video process, there are plenty of programs that you can either download or are already installed on your computer to capture this information. Now, once you're capturing a video, whether it's an on-screen video or whether you're recording a video with your phone or iPad or whatever, the opportunity is either in real time while you're recording it or after the fact, you can put this into the AI note taker like we were talking about. Now, why is that important? AI note takers are cool because they create not only a transcript, which is incredibly accurate, but also creates a summary as well. Now, there were these mythical people way back in the day that used to create SOP manuals that these people were just amazing. Like the amount of effort and time and being able to see the bigger picture and to distill information down into something that would fit into a 3-inch binder is pretty cool. But the unfortunate thing is that they didn't really receive justice because they did all this work and then these SOP manuals would sit on shelves, oftentimes at centralized locations, and people wouldn't have full access to them or they just didn't have interest in them. So fast forward to today, video policy or video operating procedures is a great way to create decentralized training and make sure that everybody's up to speed. And video offers the opportunity for you to share information in a much more impactful way because of the fact that people learn with the video component, they learn with the audio component, and you also have the written component. And the inflection and the synthesis and the meaning and stuff behind what is lost in a written document is not lost in the video component because of the fact people can understand better what you mean by the demonstration piece. The neat thing is that once the AI note taker creates the summary, you could take that summary, put it back into a generative platform such as Chat, Gemini, Perplexity, Copilot, you name it, whatever your favorite is, and say, create a checklist based on this summary for a standard operating procedure. And it's going to outline the key steps and then put that checklist together, which then you now have something that goes along with that video for people to use once they've learned from the video. Let's say it's how to create social media posts for your company. Now they have a checklist of the steps that they can follow in real time, which is pretty cool. Much faster, much easier to share with people in decentralized locations. It can be stored on your servers and accessed obviously through your NAS or your servers or whatever you're using to share information across a decentralized office. So that's pretty cool. Let's talk about some other things that you can use AI for. Creating a video or an audio file and there's noise in the background. Well, Adobe has Adobe Podcast, which is pretty cool. You can put your audio in there and it will remove the background noise and the hisses and the different things and stuff and the crinkles. One of the things that is very useful for video creators is to remove dead spaces in videos. With this platform, it's called Time Bolt. It will actually go in, use AI to identify the dead spaces in your videos and then help you remove those by identifying them quickly rather than having to watch the video back and forth and back and forth and find the dead spaces. It'll help you identify those. It also can help you remove the ums too. So that's pretty cool. Now, there are some paid options with that. And again, I am not creating a testimonial. I'm just telling you what's available. You can create voiceovers and create synchronization that'll make it look like things are talking. So let's go back to the lion example. You can create a lion that is selling meat cuts for a local meat processor, and the lion is saying, buy your best meat cuts over at so and so. And you could even have it so that the lion has a special pattern on top of it or something like that. That's all possible with AI. You can create B-roll for your camera. You can create stock images that you don't have to license from. There's just so much good stuff. Adobe, many of the video processing programs, they all have AI built into it. Canva has AI built into it. That's a design program where you can do some cool AI stuff with your designs. CapCut, which is a video processing or video editing software that's online. It's a browser-based web editor for video. You can put captions on top of your videos, and that is also AI. It's generating the captions in real time by listening to the speech of the video and then putting captions with it. Now, full disclosure, it's not 100% accurate, but it's darn close. I would say it's probably in the high 80s to low 90s as far as accuracy. And I think that's pretty good given the fact that this is early on in the birth of AI. So I'm going to shift gears yet again and talk about some other things that you should be aware as we close out this video as it comes to AI. And these are things like we're talking about the technology and there's still, I guess, a little bit of wariness as far as like what is actually going on with AI. Well, let's talk about how to think about AI with regards to your professional pursuits. So I create a real short framework for you to think about AI and how to use it in your daily workday. And it's just 3 bullet points long. And the first one is ask yourself the question, what's the best way to execute a task, complete or execute a task, a workflow, a process? And then ask yourself the question, this is kind of the built-on question to it, is can AI do it or could I at least try it with AI? Maybe you need an onboarding tool or something like that. You know, it can do that too. Maybe you need a small string of code or maybe you even need a full block of code for something. It can actually write code for you as well, which is pretty incredible. So that first point is ask yourself the question. The second one is if it is a yes that you think AI can do it, ask the question, can it do it more quickly with less effort? But also, does it check the box that by doing it with AI that you can still preserve your working relationships inside your organization and also with your clients? I do not in any way, shape, or form condone or encourage you to use AI to create artificial relationships with people. I don't encourage you to replace yourself with AI when it comes to interactions, because the people that preserve the relationships and grow the relationships with their clients and with their team members are going to see that their organizations will continue to do well on the whole. The ones that think that AI can replace the human element are going to not see a good end. That's my professional opinion, because and that human element is not to be discounted and certainly not overlooked. It's very important as a business owner, as a professional, that you preserve, promote, and strengthen the human element in your organization and with your communities that you operate in. And then the third piece is if it's a yes, if it can do it faster, if it can solve the workflow, figuring out what platform is going to be the best route. And so I will encourage you to try these two platforms to solve your needs. They're both kind of like the digital encyclopedia of AI at this point. There may be others, but these are two that I have found that are really good. The first one is called Futurepedia. That's all one word. Just type Futurepedia into your browser, just like Wikipedia, but Futurepedia. The other one is called Future Tools. So just as it sounds, both of them. I think both of them are really good. I've used them on multiple occasions. And what's neat about them is that it's like a marketplace where everything's organized based on what you need to use it for. So if you need video editing, great. If you need AI note taker, great. If you know the sky's the limit. And if you need voiceover, go get it. They have, and here's the thing, you gotta be careful because like I used a music generator to create the theme song for the video that you saw at the conference. That was on Suno, which is one of the leaders in creating music. But there's like, as of last week, there was like 79 other examples that went along with Suno on the platform. So there's a lot of choices, and you kind of have to look through, read the one sentence description, and see if you think that would be a good fit for what your use case is. So, some of the things that I think are being overlooked or are creating wariness amongst professionals who are new or early on in their AI usage. The first thing is that the code is written by people, and there's been multiple examples of the agendas that are human of the people that are writing the code, creating results that are uh, widely regarded as untrue or inaccurate as it relates to what would be expected and what is mostly understood to be the truth or historical truth across things. And not a political debate. I'm just giving you what has been seen, observed, and documented, not just by me, but by multiple other people. Okay, so you have to not just give it a rubber stamp and say, oh, just because it came from AI that it's true and it's, the best information possible. There's agendas when humans are involved like that. And I'll leave it up to you to do more research, but just keep that in mind that this is not 100%, oh, I trust it and set it and forget it. When it comes to AI, how do you understand all? You don't. It's going to keep growing. And look at how many different programs and companies and stuff are involved in this. What I would recommend is try to start small with one or two things that you'd like to see if AI can help you with, and then see if you can find a handful of platforms that you use regularly to help create force multiplication for you as a business owner. Trying to understand it all is going to overwhelm you, and it's going to create inactivity because of overwhelm. So here's the thing: be open to change. I do know this, that if you ignore or reject AI, you're going to be left behind like the Luddites were when the automated looms came forward in the turn of the last century. As you become more productive with AI, introduce more platforms. If you think that you can expand what you're doing with AI, like, if you were doing generative platforms to ask questions, then maybe you're doing video editing and you want to remove dead space. So, that's when you have a chance to kind of expand. I would say dedicate 15 to 30 minutes a day, 2 to 3 times minimum per week, just playing around with it and trying new things. That's a great way to kind of stay relevant with it. It can be an enhancer if you're using it for augmentation of client interaction, but it is not meant to replace it. So I would say that AI may do a little bit of basic stuff like FAQ answers and stuff like that, and some very, very light touches. But if you think it's going to replace your interactions with clients, it's going to turn people off. Okay. It better be better than humans if it's going to replace people, because otherwise people are going to be turned off. And take that to heart, because the companies that think that they can replace their human interactions with AI, it's probably not going to go well for at least the first few generations of that. We've seen that with automated phone conversations. It tends to turn people off and even irritate them. The current replacement of jobs, I think at some level there is going to be some replacement, and there is some of that is happening in very limited use cases. And even like in higher level jobs such as radiology and stuff like that, AI came in and algorithms were written to create opportunities to look at radiological scans, and there was a lot of accuracy, even to the point that it could read more scans and do it 24 hours a day compared to the radiologist who worked 8 hours a day or 10 hours a day or whatever. But here's the thing: if you look at it, there's still jobs for radiologists, so it hasn't replaced, it's become an augmentation, and that's a very high education job. There's going to be more of that everywhere. You just have to embrace and know that's everywhere, and realize that to be relevant in your profession, that you should be aware of AI and know how to use it productively. Here's a really important thing that's overlooked is that be careful about what you put into AI. If you're putting, private data from your company into AI, that's not a good place to be, because of the fact that that stuff is housed in a model inside of the organization that you're using their platform for. And AI pulls the results for your prompts from information that's on the internet. So this is a wild west right now, and I would not encourage you to put proprietary information of any kind, including images, into AI models, because the fact that becomes very sticky and could become a part of their ownership or a future class action lawsuit against the AI platform. Or it could become a way for other competitors to pull information that you've put online, because of the fact that if you put proprietary information on there, they become aware of it through the AI prompt generation, the answers they're generating, stuff like that. So, kind of closing point: have fun with it. Make mistakes. Keep in mind that these platforms, when they're used well, are tools to help create force multiplication for you in a lot of different ways. In the wrong hands, it's just like anything. You can put a pen in the wrong hands and it will become a weapon for people to either write nasty stuff or do other nasty things with. So it does not matter. In the wrong hands, any tool can become a weapon. But in the right hands, it can become something that's used for great effect for helping professionals and stuff like that. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video, and if you have any questions, reach out. Nicholas J. Saller on LinkedIn, and I look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to share this video if you want to, like, subscribe, whatever, but just go out there and have fun. Take care.
And the big ideas flow. Rapid City hosts on the sky so big and wide. Say hello to your panelists, serving as your expert AI guides. At the SDCO AI conference, get on your feet and stand, bringing forth innovations to help you with your